I'm gonna dive deep into a free strength training program, and we're gonna start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in becoming a better athlete, you want to be more explosive, you want to be stronger, you want to be an absolute animal, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a champion. So we know that wrestling is one of the most dynamic athletic endeavors on the planet. There's a whole bunch of different facets that go into developing a champion on the mat. And a lot of wrestling coaches tend to struggle with this. Wrestling coaches tend to be very, very good technicians, very skilled technicians. They understand hand placement. They understand how the head can move. They understand changing of the level. They understand movement on the mat. They understand very precise skill-based aspects behind the sport of wrestling. But a lot of times, wrestling coaches and wrestlers themselves really struggle in developing a strength program that's gonna help them become better wrestlers. And that's where we've got to dive into a couple key facets, and that's where we're going to get into what are those elements of wrestling. So we've got to think about wrestling in general. They're going to start right away. We've got to think about how fast wrestling is. If you can think about Jordan Burroughs hitting that blast double, that speed that he has, if you can think about at the NCAA level or at the collegiate or at the high school level, how fast scrambles are today, and scrambles can happen so reactively. And so we're going to start off with one of those key elements is going to be rapid reaction. So there's got to be a training method in the weight room that we can utilize to try to improve that rapid reaction that we're going to need on the mat. And that next big factor that we're going to need, we know that wrestlers have to have strength. We know that if we're talking about the lighter weight wrestlers, they need to have a little bit higher relative strength, so pound for pound strength. If we're going to be talking about, heavier weight wrestlers, they need a little bit more of absolute strength. They've got to have that top end strength. They've got to be able to, squat close to 500 pounds if you're a heavyweight wrestler, maybe even more than that. They've got to be strong so that when they're in the tie-up, they can manipulate their opponents and they can still react rapidly. And that's going to lead us into what's that third aspect. They've got to have really strong grip strength. So if we're a wrestler and we can control and manipulate the wrist, we can control and manipulate the elbow, we can be heavy on the head when we're in that tie-up, that's all going to be related to that grip strength. And at the high school level, even at the international style, you can think about locking up that cradle and rolling through. You can start to really see where that grip strength comes into play. And then of course, that fourth key element that we've got to think about is that wrestlers have to have really good endurance. And so what ends up being difficult for wrestling coaches is how can they sit there and educate their wrestlers on all the different skills, all the different techniques that they're going to be utilizing to become better wrestlers on the mat, and then also from a cohesive perspective, generate a strength-based program that's going to have the facets of rapid reaction. It's going to have the facets of general strength training. It's going to have grip strength work, and we also need to have endurance in there quite a bit. And what we've done now is we've created a free wrestling-based strength program to help you institute into your wrestling so that you can get stronger, you can be more explosive, you can have that dynamic trunk control coupled with that stupid strong grip so that you can manipulate your opponents on the mat. And now we're going to go over what that program actually includes. So the way this program is laid out is we're talking about a 4-day strength program. Each training session is going to be about 40 to 45 minutes. This is going to be really simple to follow. And what we like to utilize is that we like to have an exercise here laid out where that first movement is going to be an explosive exercise. And that second movement here is going to be more of a strength-based training protocol. So it's going to be something that we can do that's going to help us improve our general strength, our maximal strength, our absolute strength, or if we're in the lighter weight classes, our relative strength. And then as we finish out that program, here's where we're going to get into those accessories where we might be working grip strength, we might be working on our core strength, we might be working on any little leak that we can see on the mat. And the way the program is laid out is that we're gonna see exercise 1A, and we provide the exact exercise for you to click on. You can see how the movement is done, and we provide those reps and those sets so that you know where to start, you know what the movement should look like, you know how to execute that movement. And then as you work through the entire day, then you'll get into 2A, which is gonna be more of the strength-based stuff. And then as you get into 3A, 3B, whatever it might be within that program, now we're gonna be working on that grip strength, that dynamic trunk control, our core strength, and any other asset that we can utilize, that we can improve in the weight room. And our free wrestling program is at the link down below in the description. You can head over to GarageStrength.com and you can download this entire 4-day program. We hold your hand through the entire process so that you can learn how to utilize a strength training program optimally, along with the skills that you're going to be learning in the wrestling room. And we utilize in this free program exercises and movements and rep schemes that we utilize here on site at Garage Strength to develop All-Americans at the NCAA level and Division I NCAA level, at Division II and Division III, along with the development of 2-time world bronze medalist Nick Gwiazdowski, and multiple Pennsylvania state champions have utilized these programs to help them become better wrestlers. So if you want this program to become a more explosive wrestler, to become a better athlete, to become more dominant on the mat, click on this link right here, or click on the link down below in the description to start your journey to becoming a champion.